So, hello friends. So, today we will learn about chapter 15 materials we use. Okay, so now before that, let's have a small question. What is meant by natural and man made materials? Natural materials are those which are naturally found in the nature, for example, water or air. And man made materials are the one which are not naturally found but we have managed to make them. For example, plastic. Okay, and then you can make a list. So as you see that a new substance produced by chemical processing of natural substance is called man-made substance. For example, plastic is made of petrol, which is a natural substance. Okay, so as the example one says, in older times we used various plant products for brushing teeth, but nowadays we have chemical toothpastes. Okay, chemical word need not be bad, but yes, we have variety of toothpaste and tooth powders. Okay, now one thing is toothpaste. It is made up of mainly calcium carbonate and calcium hydrogen phosphate. Okay, this removes the dirt on the teeth, and calcium carbonate is an ingredient present in the teeth. Deposit it and the teeth become stronger. Okay, as I say, these ingredients also polish the teeth. A certain proportion of fluoride in the toothpaste help prevent tooth decay. But remember, fluoride should be in minimum form, though the companies ensure, because excess of fluoride this causes health teeth issues specifically, and even fluoride is even bad for some other functions of the body. So fluoride is essential for strengthening of bones and the enamel covering of teeth. Okay. The second is detergent. Okay, it is derived from Latin word detergere, which means to wipe away. Okay, a substance that cleans or wipes away dirt is a detergent. Okay, you may have heard the term detergent only for washing powder, but science defines anything used for cleaning as detergent. Examples are soap, Rita, Shikakai, soap, washing soda, washing powder, liquid soap, shampoo. They are all detergents. Okay, so a small experiment is basically that what happens, as we have seen, that oil and water they don't really mix together, and they tend to form separate layers. Okay, but when you add a detergent, the two start mixing together. Now, why? Let's answer this question. Okay, basically, yeah, here is the structure. No, there's no molecule of detergent as such. Okay, yeah, here. The molecule of detergent, this is more like a molecule of detergent. Okay. Its two ends are different. Okay, this is the design. This end, for example, this end is attracted to water, and this end is attracted to oil. Maybe some other representation might be different, but that doesn't change the understanding that one end is oil friendly and the other end is water friendly. Representations may vary. Okay, a molecule of a detergent holds onto water molecule at one end and oil molecule at other. Okay, so what happen is, since there is something holding together, for example, suppose if two people do not want to shake hands, so what happen is you join your one hand with other and your second hand with the other, so in a way you can help both of them move together. Okay, so that is what detergents do. It allows the water and the oil to act with each other. Okay, this is how soap acts when we wash ourselves or our soiled clothes. Okay, our body may become oily due to some reasons, and our clothes they absorb this oil and they too become oily due to crisscrossing thread of the material. Basically cloths are nothing but very small, these kind of threads. So what happen is some oil is stick there. So what soap does, it removes the oil. Okay, and the clothes are restored back to the former glory like this. Okay, now soap can easily spread on many types of surface. Okay, the property of substance of spreading on a surface is called surface activity, and the substance is said to be surfactant. Okay, detergent, as they say, is a surface active. Okay, this results in lather formation. Now we have natural detergents which has been used for quite some time. They include Rita and Shikakai. Okay, they have a natural occurring chemical saponin, so it is not at all harmful or not at all harmful for our skin or our clothes. The second is man-made detergent. Okay, it has been in use for some ancient times. Soap was invented in the West about 2000 years ago. In those days, soap was prepared from animal fat and wood ash. So now we use a variety of soap, and there are tons of brand. Okay, now type of soap. Hard soap is used for washing clothes. It's a bit of a technical term if you know that. It's a sodium salt of fatty acids. Okay, basically that sodium salt of fatty acids, they are not friendly for human skin. So one should not use washing clothes for bathing. Soft soap is used for bathing. Okay, it's a potassium salt of fatty acids. Generally, potassium is softer on human skin than sodium. It does not cause irritation of the skin. But now the problem comes when the water is hard. So in hard water, both of these salts have no effect. Okay, as I said, the soap does not give lather, forms a scum. So what we do, we have synthetic detergents. Okay, what are they? The long structural unit in the synthetic detergents are obtained from raw materials which are mainly fats or kerosene. Basically not environmentally friendly, but the thing is, if one has hard water, they have to make use of this detergent. Okay, subjecting these raw materials, that is fats and kerosene, to a variety of chemical processes. So they are used in various cosmetics, and they can be used in hard water as well. Okay, now in soap you must have seen the companies advertising like uh, you know a scent for a day, or maybe it has herb properties maybe. So basically this table tell that you can add these ingredients to give them useful property. In fact, for some skin problems there are medicinal soaps. Okay, the medicine is added to the soap while it is being made. So the above thing is the process of preparation of a soap. It is really good enough if you want to know about that, but you can even use that. Okay, basically, okay, you can read this yourself. Okay, no, I think I should explain it whatever I can. Basically, you take some oil and dissolve some sodium hydroxide with water. Basically, create a thick solution. Oh no, so it won't be thick. Okay, now when we have made the solution, put that in oil, heat it and boil that whatever you have done for 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, and you should be stirring all the while. Lumps should not be formed. Okay, heat it and boil for 10 to 12 minutes, stirring all the while. Take care that mixture does not boil over while heating. Okay, now what you do is dissolve 15 grams salt in 200 ml of water. Do not add it right now, but take a separate thing and add them. Okay, 15 grams salt, 200 ml of water, mix it and then add it to this heated substance. The soap that forms now floats on water. Now after some times it becomes thick. Now what do you think? What do you see is one separate thick soap along with all of this. You take this thing out. Okay, now add a few things what you want to add. Okay, and as they say in the process, fat and alkali. Fat was coconut oil and alkali was sodium hydroxide. They combine to form salts of fatty acids. Chemically, soap is a sodium or potassium salt of fatty acids. So now we come to last topic, cement. Okay, cement. Okay, so cement production. So basically the importance of cement cannot be neglected. Okay, sheets, blocks, pillars and pipes are made from concrete produced from cement. So cement is really important for industrial consumption. It is made from silica, or as we call it sand, alumina, and the scientific name is aluminum oxide, lime, iron oxide and magnesia, which is magnesium dioxide. You mix all these chemicals and after some processing you get cement. What is used? Portland cement is the most commonly used cement for construction work. So what is it made of? 60% calcium oxide, 25% silica, which is silicon dioxide, and 5% aluminum oxide. Okay, the rest is iron dioxide and iron oxide and gypsum. So basically lot of chemicals. Portland gets its name from the Isle of Portland in England. Okay. So what in ancient times Roman knew how to prepare the cement. Okay. So what they do is they mixed volcanic ash in moistened lime. Really durable, but after the Roman Empire declined, the technique was forgotten. It was then Britishers who revived this technique. Concrete is one we use more often, prepared by mixing cement, water, sand and gravel. Any construction if it goes around that house, you will see that okay. So basically whatever construction goes about our house, if you have seen this particular thing, so this is a concrete mixing machine. This you must have seen it. Okay, this is used to mix cement and concrete. Okay, so here we are done with this chapter. Thank you so much.